What's going on YouTube? I want to welcome you guys to the second episode of the Cardano Scoop. Now, if it's your first time here, my name is Fareed, and in these particular series, I aim to provide you guys with a weekly update when it comes to Cardano CNFT news. Now, with that said, if it's your first time coming across the channel, which is going to be Dapp Central, I want to quickly explain to you guys exactly what it is that I do here. I aim to provide you guys with the latest and greatest when it comes to tutorials, news, and reviews across the entire Cardano ecosystem. And so if that interests you, make sure to tap that like button. That's going to help to get this content out to other like-minded viewers like yourself. And if you want to stay updated, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And then if you have any questions or comments about any of the information that's covered in today's video, make sure to leave a comment down below. Without any further ado, what we're going to do is take a quick look at our agenda for today. First things first, we're going to be talking about the weekly Cardano development update. Once we wrap that up, we're going to quickly pivot to the weekly Cardano community engagement. And that's going to be a quick report showing us the top engagers within the Cardano ecosystem. Once we take a look at that, we're then going to switch over into NFTs, in which we'll be discussing the recently announced MuesliSwap NFT Mint, as well as the Subhandles article that was just released by the ADA Handles team. And then at the very end of this video, I have a special tool that I want to show you guys. And this particular tool is going to allow for you to see the value of your Cardano wallet, which is going to include all of your NFTs, as well as your Cardano native tokens. And so if that interests you, stick along for today's ride. And let's just go ahead and jump straight into it. So first things I want to take a look at is the weekly Cardano development report. And so I'm going to share my screen here with you guys. And what I want to highlight here is a tweet that actually just came out recently from IOHK. And so if you guys are not already following them, I highly recommend that you do that. Input Global is going to be basically the foundation that's building Cardano. Now, Charles Hoskinson, who's going to be the CEO of IO, is actually the founder of Cardano. And so again, I highly recommend that you guys follow InputHK in order to stay updated with the latest when it comes to Cardano. Now, the tweet here that I want to focus on is going to be giving us an update, right? And this is based off of July 15th, 2022. But as we can see here, there was a total at the time that this particular tweet was released, there was a total of 91 projects launched on Cardano, with an additional 1,000 plus building currently right now. We also have a total of about 5.5 million native tokens that have been minted on the Cardano blockchain, and this particular number continues to grow. I believe about a month or two ago, it had just crossed over 3 million. And so to see it already over 5.5 and on the way to 6 is awesome news. I think as more adoption comes within the Cardano ecosystem, we're going to see this particular number begin to rise even faster. Moving along, we have about 6,000 NFT projects. Can you guys believe that? Launched on Cardano. And so when people say this is a ghost chain, these are the kind of numbers that I respond with, right? There's a lot of building happening, and you guys definitely don't want to give into the FUD that's currently into the market. Moving along, we have about 3,000 or nearly 3,000 different Plutus scripts that are being deployed on Cardano. And so Plutus is going to be the smart contracting language that the Cardano blockchain is built on. And so the more Plutus scripts that we're able to see, this basically means the more features and functionality, right, that the code run on the blockchain is going to be able to perform. So again, really, really good numbers. And I'm hoping to see this particular number here specifically with the Plutus scripts increase, especially after the Vassal hard fork, with so many new changes coming online for Cardano. Now, I also want to quickly highlight here while we're talking a little bit about code, the GitHub commits this week. And so I believe that Cardano has been the leader when it comes to code changes over the last few months. And so this trend continues, and we can see that there's been over 3,100 total GitHub commits this particular week for the Cardano blockchain. So again, really, really good news here. But this is what I wanted to open up with, was the Cardano development report. And then just to add to that, right, so we just covered the stats here, but just to add to that, there's other key highlights here. And I'll be honest, I'm not familiar with all of these particular key highlights, but I am still learning. So as crazy as it sounds, I'm just, still learning in this space just like you guys are. But as I familiarize myself with all of these terms and all of these different changes, I'll try to explain to them a little bit better. Now, there's two here that I do understand that I want to quickly highlight. And the first here is the integration with Japanese translation for Hydra documentation. And so the Japanese community is now going to have the translated version of the documentation for Hydra. And so again, it just goes to show you how far thinking Cardano as well as IO is, right, in terms of adoption. The faster that we can get all this documentation out there and basically in all these different languages, the faster that's going to be able to get adopted across the blockchain. Now, moving along, the last thing I want to highlight here is going to be the Fund 9. Excuse me, it's going to be that Fund 9, which was Catalyst. We saw a minimum of all the proposals receive at least 8 different proposals. And so I think what this means here is that the community is a lot more active when it comes to Catalyst. And I am going to be talking a little bit more about Catalyst and the 3 roles that you can participate in if that sounds interesting to you. And so I believe that that's going to wrap it up for the beginning portion of the Cardano Scoop, in which we're going to be talking about the weekly Cardano development report. I hope that that was helpful. Moving along, I want to quickly touch on Project Catalyst. And if you guys are not aware, Project Catalyst is a series of experiments which seek to generate the highest level of community innovation. Catalyst is bringing on-chain governance to the Cardano blockchain by allowing the community to self-determine priorities for growth. On top of that, it also lets participants deploy funding to proposals which tackle challenges and capitalize on opportunities that arise in the life cycle of Cardano. And so again, this is going to be a community-driven effort to basically allow for the community to vote for the top proposals that are in need within the Cardano ecosystem. So now there's actually 3 different roles that you can participate as with inside of Project Catalyst. The first role that you can participate as is going to be a proposer. A quick review of what a proposer is. A proposer is someone who submits a proposal to a Cardano project, or to Cardano Project Catalyst, to be funded by the treasury. They have an understanding of a problem and an idea on how to solve it. Proposers are the idea people, ones that see the bigger picture, identify needs, and look to plug the gaps. And so again, basically proposers are going to be anyone who has an idea about how to better suit the Cardano blockchain, or has an idea about how to better implement something that's being done on Cardano. And so that's going to be the first role available when it comes to Cardano Project Catalyst. The second role is going to be the voter role. A voter is someone who holds ADA and is actively participating in the governance of Cardano Project Catalyst. They are the ultimate deciders of the direction of the project. They review the proposer's proposal and vote up or down based on the proposal. And so again, the voters are going to be anybody basically who holds ADA. I believe that there is a set amount that you need to be holding before you're actually able to vote, but that's the second role. The third role I want to quickly highlight here when it comes to Project Catalyst is going to be the proposal assessor role. Now, a proposal assessor, or a PA, is going to be a community member that participates in the quality assurance of proposals. They have the task of reviewing proposals submitted to a given fund and supplying quality information to voters and proposers. And so not only will the proposal assessor be able to vote, but their job is basically to review and assess the proposal written by the proposers. Further, a community advisor is anyone who participates in the community to develop, assist, advise, improve Project Catalyst. And so again, I hope this gives you guys an introductory look at what Project Catalyst is. Fund 9 actually just wrapped up the proposal assessment period, and that's where we saw that in my previous section where I talked about the weekly Cardano update, that the minimum amount of proposals received during this last round for each proposal that came out was 8. And so again, a lot of really good numbers here, a lot of high engagement within the Cardano community, and I'm super excited to be seeing those numbers. So that's really going to wrap it up for Project Catalyst here in terms of the description of the 3 roles. I did want to quickly give you guys a quick look at what some of these project proposals actually look like inside of Idea Scale, which is where you can actually review the proposals as a PA or a proposal assessor. So if I jump over into here, which is going to be cardano.ideascale.com, from here you can review all of the previous Project Catalyst funding rounds, as well as any existing funding rounds that are currently ongoing. And so if I click on this drop down here, I can see that right now I'm taking a look at the Fund 9 Dapp's products and integration section, where I can see all of the proposals that fit within that particular criteria. And so, for example, here we have the Hard Fork Cafe, which this is going to be a particular suggestion for a proposal, which again, the PAs will have to receive or review, I should say. Now we can also see exactly what stage of the process within Fund 9 the team is currently on. And so right now, it looks like there is 14 days left within the Assess QA stage. And so once this wraps up, they're going to move on to the next stage, and eventually they're going to get to the point where all the proposals have been vetted, reviewed, and are ready to be voted on by the community. So that's going to wrap up Project Catalyst. Again, I hope that this was helpful. I do want to note that this is all completely free to participate in. And so if you're a voter, the only requirement is that you hold a certain amount of ADA. I need to confirm exactly how much ADA that is, but I'll follow up with you guys on that. And then to be a proposal assessor, there's no requirements as long as you fill out the proposal within the set amount of time. Now, to be a proposal assessor or a proposal reviewer, I should say, you do have to sign up. There is a form, but once you sign up, it is free, and you do receive ADA based on the amount of proposals that you review, and that actually get accepted as valid proposals. So again, if you're looking for a way to earn some additional ADA, I highly recommend that you guys check out Project Catalyst. A lot of really good stuff going on here. And again, this is all going to be in mind to basically grow and elevate Cardano. So if that's something that interests you, definitely check them out. I'll make sure to leave the link down in the description below. All right, moving along. The next thing I want to talk about here are going to be some of the engagement reports that we have within the Cardano community. And so the first report I want to take a look at is going to be the top projects with the highest engagement within the last 7 days on Cardano. So as you guys know, crypto Twitter is a thing. If you guys don't know what crypto Twitter is, it's basically just the Twitter space where all the crypto enthusiasts basically go in and talk about crypto, right? So I'm actually on Twitter as well. If you guys don't mind giving me a quick follow, you guys can follow me at Dapp_Central. I'll leave the link to that Twitter page in the description below. But I'm going to quickly share my screen here for you guys. And what I want to do is highlight some of these other projects that have been getting a lot of attention when it comes to Twitter. And so here we can see that some of the top projects right now with the highest engagement within the last 7 days include Cody. Now, to be fair here, I'm not too familiar with the Cody project. I am still reading up on them, but I believe that this is the Cody/Jed stablecoin, which obviously there's been a lot of ongoing chatter with the recent collapse of Terra Luna. However, I'm hoping that Cody or Jed is able to basically overcome a lot of the noise and hype, especially with the fear of the market crashing when it comes to their stablecoin. So they have the #1 amount of social engagement right now, as we can see. And then right on their heels, we have JPEG.store. Now, I believe the reason why JPEG.store is here is because of what they actually had in terms of their recent mint last week, in which they minted their chunky hippos for free. And this was a test mint to basically test a brand new feature that was just released on the JPEG.store marketplace, in which they were able to basically mint an NFT directly from their JPEG.store website. Historically, we've seen mints take place through the use of other third-party resources, but the fact that the JPEG team is now looking to integrate that feature directly within their platform is why I think they had so much engagement last week. Now, moving along, we have in third place Virtua. Now, if you guys have not heard of Virtua, they are going to be a metaverse play launching on Cardano. I believe that IOHK, or the Cardano Foundation, did officially make a partnership announcement with Virtua, but we also saw them actually have a land mint about a week or so ago, which I believe explains why they had so much engagement. And so they sold out Cardano Island, and they had, I believe, 3 different plot sizes. They had like a small, a medium, and a large, and those range from anywhere between 700 or so ADA all the way until about, I think, 2 or so thousand ADA. Now, I didn't participate in this particular mint, but again, I do believe that that's why we're seeing them here within the highest engagement within the last 7 days, is because of that mint. Now, I'm not going to review all of these here, but I do want to quickly highlight that Hosky token, which you guys should definitely follow, is one of the top meme coins within the Cardano ecosystem. They came in 4th place with Wing Riders right on their heels. We also saw Pavia.io, Meld, the book token, which is a recent marketplace for NFT books, also had a lot of engagement, and then the Ergo Dex as well. All right, that's going to wrap it up for the projects with the top engagement within the last 7 days. And again, all this data is coming directly from Cardano Daily, which I highly recommend that you guys go and check out in terms of their Twitter. Moving along, I have another report which is going to be very similar to this. However, this particular report is going to be focusing on social influencers within the Cardano ecosystem. And so without any further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at that particular chart. And there's going to be a familiar name here that you guys are going to see, which I've definitely noticed within the Cardano ecosystem. And so taking a look at the top influencers within the last 7 days in Cardano, at number 1, we have Crypto Recruiter, which is going to be Dan Gambardello, who also runs the Crypto Capital Venture channel. He recently upgraded his studio, and he's just started picking back up in terms of making content. But when I tell you guys that Dan is the definition of a real hustler within the Cardano community, there hasn't been more than 1 or 2 days in which I've seen Dan not post content. So I highly recommend that you guys follow Crypto Recruiter. And if you guys are looking for a place to stake your ADA, check out his CCV pools. Now, right behind Dan Gambardello, or CCV, Crypto Capital Venture, who had an engagement of about 10,000 engagements within crypto Twitter. We have Darren N. I actually don't follow Darren, so I'll be following him here just because of the engagement that we're seeing that he's gaining. But I'm interested in seeing exactly what kind of content he's putting out. And then we also have in 3rd place the Cardanians.io Twitter account with Ada Whale right behind. I'm actually surprised that Ada Whale is not listed higher here, but Ada Whale is another source that I definitely follow, and I know that they post a lot of additional great content when it comes to Cardano. On top of that, we have Input Output, which again I just mentioned is being led by Charles Hodgkinson, who is the founder of Cardano, and they're coming in with 6.7 thousand engagements within the last 7 days. Now, quickly moving on here, we have Ada Ape, Rick McCracken, Daniel Friedman, and Lucid. And I actually don't follow any of these accounts here, but again, I am open to following new Twitter personalities as long as they're posting informational content about Cardano. So if any of these influencers interest you, make sure to go give them a check out and follow them on Twitter. All right, moving along, what I want to quickly do is now take a look at the TVL within the Cardano ecosystem. And so in the very first episode of the Cardano Scoop, I basically talked about some of the top dexes within the Cardano ecosystem and about how MuesliSwap, Wing Riders, and Sunday Swap basically held the most amount of TVL when it came to that within Cardano. So to basically add on to this conversation here, I've got some additional stats coming from Cardano Daily again. And as we can see here, the current Cardano TVL is sitting at around 150 million ADA. Now, on top of that, we also have the Milkameta TVL, which at one point did hit a peak of about 100 million ADA, but that seems to have fallen off a little bit to about 40 or so million ADA, actually probably a little bit below that. So we've seen Milkameta take a much bigger hit in terms of the TVL when it compared to Cardano. But that doesn't change the facts that we see here below. So here we can also see that the current TVL is mostly concentrated on dexes within Cardano, which again I mentioned are Wing Riders, MuesliSwap, and SundaySwap. But then on top of that, there's only one lending and borrowing project with a little bit of TVL, and that's currently Lending Pond. And so Lending Pond is going to be a brand new Dapp on Cardano, which is going to facilitate the lending and borrowing of assets using collateral. And so if you have an NFT and you want to basically borrow against it to unlock some of the liquidity that your asset holds, you can use a platform like Lending Pond in order to do that. And so what I want to basically mention here are some of the problems that Cardano Daily highlights within the Cardano ecosystem. The first is that there's too many dexes and not enough pool options. And so a lot of the trading pairs that we're currently seeing are in ADA, right? Obviously that's because there's not a lot of bridges and there's not a lot of outsider wrap tokens coming into the ecosystem. The second problem is that there are not a lot of incentives or rewards to attract newcomers into the space. The third is that there are no bridges within the Cardano ecosystem, or at least none that are publicly available. And so this does make it hard to transfer assets within the ecosystem. The fourth problem is that there's little to no borrowing projects. As I mentioned before, right now, the main one that we're seeing on the blockchain appears to be Lending Pond. Now, moving along and taking a look at how we can actually fix some of these problems and what we can do, here it states that in order to basically fix the ADA pool problem within the dexes, we would basically need for other liquidity pools to pop up that are not built around the ADA token. And so my main thing here and what I believe is that if we're able to fix the third and fourth problem with the bridge and the lending and borrowing, that I believe that then the other two will kind of take care of themselves. And so what I'm expecting is after the Vassal hard fork, is that we're going to see more lending and borrowing projects, right? Such as Meld. We're also going to see ADA Finance. We're also going to see Vi Finance and Liquid. All those are going to begin to launch within the mainnet. The reason why we aren't seeing a lot of lending and borrowing protocols right now is because a lot of the infrastructure to basically uphold those projects, those are all going to be released within the Vassal hard fork. Now, the Vassal hard fork will be launching on the Cardano mainnet at the end of this July. And so right now, a lot of these projects are currently working to integrate the Vassal hard fork updates to their testnet applications, and that does include Meld, Liquid, Vi Finance, etc. So I think within the next few months, we should be seeing a lot more of these lending and borrowing protocols launching on Cardano. And once we do see that, I think that that particular issue will no longer be a problem. Now, when it comes to bridging, right, I do want to quickly highlight here that Meld, which is a DeFi banking protocol, that they're currently working on building the Akamon bridge. The Akamon bridge is going to allow for liquidity to basically flow in from the Polygon network, which is one of the top layer 2s on Ethereum, directly into Cardano. So I do believe that that's going to alleviate a little bit of that particular issue. But I'm hoping that we can start to see additional bridges launching on Cardano within the next few months. Again, the Akamon bridge will be an open source bridge, and the Meld team is looking to make it decentralized as possible, with the ability in the future to allow community run nodes to take place. And so I wanted to highlight that there. That I do believe that once we fix these two issues here with the bridge and the DeFi lending protocols, that there's going to be some additional wrap tokens coming into the ecosystem, therefore allowing for other pools other than ADA specific liquidity pools to pop up within the ecosystem. But then we're also going to see additional rewards and incentives be built around that because there's going to be other wrap tokens instead of ADA. All right, that's going to wrap that particular section up, and that's going to wrap up the main portion of today's Cardano Scoop episode, which will be the Cardano development update. Next, I want to quickly pivot into NFTs and take a quick look at the market to see exactly what has recently minted and some new tools that we can expect moving forward. And so with that said, the first thing I want to talk about is going to be the MuesliSwap Hungry Cows NFT Mint, which just took place yesterday on July 20th. And so let me share my screen here with you guys. And what I want to quickly review are some of the minting updates that the team released about the Hungry Cows. And I also want to talk about their utility. And so first things first, we have a public announcement We are excited, to inform you that the public mint of the remaining Hungry Cow NFTs will be taking place on the 20th of July between 12 and 8 p.m. UTC. And so this did take place yesterday, and it has officially ended. And we're going to take a quick look at jpeg.store to see exactly how well these are trading. But when this occurred again was yesterday, and how was with a fair distribution. And so what the MuesliSwap team basically did is they had a period in which anybody could make a request to mint the NFTs. And after that period was over, they basically picked a random set of wallets to basically be eligible to mint from that original pool of requests. I actually like this idea. It wasn't a first come first serve kind of thing like we're currently seeing within a lot of these mints on Cardano. Now, where did this mint actually take place? This took place on nft.MuesliSwap.com, and we saw these NFTs get minted for a price of 60 ADA. Moving along to the actual NFT minting website, we have a little bit more information about the NFTs themselves. And so at the top here, we can see that the Hungry Cows are going to be the utility NFT collection by MuesliSwap that helps to boost your yield farming rewards. And so if you're staking on the MuesliSwap DEX, which is one of the first order book style DEXs that launch on Cardano, you're now going to be able to use your Hungry Cow NFT in order to boost or to maximize the yield returns for your staking. Now, here a little bit more about the Hungry Cows themselves. These are going to be 10,000 unique NFTs that help you earn more. These are going to boost your MuesliSwap yield farming rewards. And we have a few variations of the NFTs themselves here. I personally like the art, very simple, and it fits with the Muesli theme here, right? We have the cow with some muesli. It just looks very cool here. I like the Cardano eyes here on this particular cow as well. Moving down into rarity, we have some of the attributes associated with the NFTs themselves. And then taking a quick look at some of the features here, we can see that there was a total of 10,000 unique Hungry Cows. And the fact that these have utility, again, in which they'll be able to provide you guys with some additional boosts when it comes to yield farming. When it comes to their roadmap, we saw a whitelist drop in which 5,000 of the unique Hungry Cows came out to the community. Once we saw that occur, there was also a public mint, which I just mentioned took place yesterday on July 20th, in which we saw the remainder of the Hungry Cows go up for sale. Now, if you guys want any more information about the Hungry Cow NFTs, I'll leave a link to their website in the description below, but that's going to be nft.MuesliSwap.com. And then from here, you can read their FAQ section, which basically breaks down all the utility surrounding their NFTs. Now, jumping over into jpeg.store just to take a quick look at their NFTs to see how well they're trading. We can see that these did originally mint for a price of 60 ADA, but as we can see here, they're now currently trading at a floor price of about 55 ADA. So they are trading right now for a little bit under floor price. And so if you did not get an opportunity to mint these from the jump, this does look like a nice opportunity now to at least be able to pick one up from the secondary marketplace. Again, we saw 10,000 total items, and at the time of shooting this video, there's about 2,800 or so owners of these particular NFTs. We've seen them raise over 400,000 ADA in terms of 24-hour trading volume. And I'm just taking a look at here some of the NFTs that are for sale. Again, very cool art. I'm personally not participating in the MuesliSwap staking program, but if I were, I would definitely be looking at picking up one of these from the secondary marketplace. All right, that's going to wrap it up for that. Next, I want to talk about a recent article that was just released by the ADA Handle team. Now, ADA handles are going to be an NFT asset that you can basically hold within your wallet. And this is going to simplify the process of sending and receiving ADA to your wallet, depending on the NFT that you hold. And so we saw the ADA handle project actually launch, I believe, in mid-March of this year of 2022. where we saw a high number of ADA handles being minted. Again, the utility behind these is that you can actually use them depending on what wallet they're stored in. You can type in the ADA handle associated with that particular wallet, and the ADA handle standard will basically route any transactions to that particular wallet that holds that NFT. I hope that that's clear. Now, with that said, we saw the ADA handle team release an article about a new feature that's going to be coming, which they're going to be calling Subhandles. And so what I want to do is quickly review this article, and then we're going to wrap up with another tool related to NFTs. So let me share my screen with you here. We're going to jump back into Twitter. And if you guys are not already following ADA handle, I highly recommend that you do so. You can follow them at ADA handle. And so here we have a tweet recently made by them, and it says here, all of your Subhandle questions have finally been answered. Please read our FAQ to familiarize yourself with one of our newest features. And so in order to do that, I'm actually going to jump over into the next tab here, which already has the ADA handle article opened up. And what I want to do is just highlight some of their key features that we can expect. So ADA handle is officially developing a new feature called Subhandles. Again, as I mentioned before, the ADA handle NFTs are going to basically help when it comes to routing transactions to a wallet. So it simplifies that process. Now, what are subhandles? Subhandles are an extension of handles designed to allow individuals, companies, dApps, and everyone else that needs more handles associated with their name or brand. Examples of subhandles using a fictitious company called Acme in this case could be $John at Acme. So Acme here in this example would be the main handle, right, which are already available for minting directly from their website. But the subhandle in this case would be John at Acme, right? So John would basically be the subhandle of the Acme main handle. Here we also have another example, which would be Treasury at Acme, which again, Acme would be the main handle, and Treasury would be the subhandle. And so moving along, who can actually issue subhandles? Any wallet that holds a root handle, such as Acme, will be able to issue a subhandle. So another really huge feature here. I'm really excited to be seeing this particular feature launch on Cardano, and it's just going to make the ADA handle standard that much more robust. Now, if you're not already aware, ADA handle has already been integrated with a lot of top dexes within Cardano, such as SundaySwap, MintSwap, and much more. They're also looking, I believe, to partner up with Maladex. And so again, this is going to be a huge update, and we're going to see, I believe, the ADA handle standard continue to grow within the next few months. Now, taking a look at how many subhandles can you actually issue? It says here, you can issue as many subhandles as you want. There will not be a limit, provided that the subhandle has not been previously minted before. Now, when it comes to the difference between the NFT-based subhandles and virtual subhandles, a few of you guys may have questions. So let's take a look at that here. The article states there will be two types of subhandles, NFT-based and virtual-based subhandles. The NFT-based subhandles are similar to what we already have with the root handles, which are an actual NFT that has to live within your wallet, right? So NFT-based subhandles will be most identical to the current root handles, such as Acme in our previous example. Virtual subhandles, however, is a new implementation of the handle standard designed to expand the security of the subhandle ownership. And so the key feature about subhandles is that they will exist in association with a smart contract that the root handle owners will directly from the ADA handle friendly customer control panel be able to edit or revoke. And so the cool feature about the virtual subhandles is that those will not actually have to live within your wallet, right? So I would imagine that there's going to be some sort of user interface where you could log in if you own the root handle, and you could basically generate a subhandle, which would not have to actually exist in a wallet, right, in order for that routing to take effect. And so the main benefit here is that, or the main reason why the ADA handle team developed this is that because multiple of the partners describe the need for subhandles that they could easily retrieve should a wallet be compromised or in the event that a team member working on a project would leave that company without returning their subhandle. So I hope that you guys can kind of see the use case here behind this here. I'm personally a fan of both of these, whether it's an NFT based subhandle or the virtual subhandle. Now, a few more questions here before we wrap up this segment on the ADA handle feature. Can virtual and NFT based subhandles coexist? The answer to that is going to be yes, they can both coexist, provided that at the time of minting the subhandles that the names are available. Now, in the event that the root handle owner decides to convert an NFT based handle into a virtual subhandle, they will also have the option to burn the NFT based subhandle and remint it as a virtual based subhandle. So again, a lot of key features that the ADA handle team is bringing here, and I'm super excited to see how seamlessly we can change between different types of ADA handles. Now, in terms of costs here, the ADA handle team is still deciding on the cost, but it will be a fixed price, which will make it possible for platforms to issue hundreds, if not thousands, of custom subhandles. The cost to mint the John at @me or the John at AA will be the same. So if you're not aware, when minting the root handles, whether or not it's a 2, 3, or 8 or 9, 10 character handle, that's going to basically have a different value, right? So those have rarity based on the amount of characters in your handle. However, what they're stating here is that regardless of the root handle, the cost of the subhandle will always be the same. So whether or not you have a 4-word or 4-letter, root handle, or whether or not you have a 2-letter root handle, the subhandles will cost the same. All right, so that's really going to be it here. I'm not going to cover all of the additional questions here. I just wanted to highlight some of the main information about the Subhandle update. But if you're interested here, I'll leave a link down in the description below so you guys can check out this particular article in its entirety. The last update I want to talk about here in today's second episode of the Cardano Scoop is going to be an awesome feature that's going to allow for you to look directly inside of your wallet. And it's also going to give you an estimate as to how much your wallet is currently worth. And so not only will this feature show you the token value associated with the Cardano native tokens within your wallet, but it's also going to show you the value in terms of the floor price of your NFTs based on certain traits or the most valuable traits. And so without any further ado, let's take a look at this and then we're going to wrap up today's video. So the tool that I want to show you guys is going to be called TellMeMyWorth. This is a brand new project launching on Cardano, and if you're not already following them, I would highly recommend that you do so. They do have a somewhat small following because they are brand new, but I'm hoping that things like this, the Cardano Scoop, as well as other influencers can spread awareness about these projects. Again, the utility that they're bringing here is going to be so huge, and it's very beneficial if you're looking to basically leverage something already built on Cardano. So as we can see here, this was a tweet that they actually just released 3 days ago. You can now search your CNFT values based on trait using ADA handles at tellmemyworth.com. So I'm just going to quickly jump over to their website, which is tellmemyworth.com. And from here, you basically have the option to add either an ADA handle or paste a Cardano wallet address. For now, I'm just going to use a generic wallet address that I just looked up earlier. It's not my wallet. It's actually a completely random wallet, so I don't know who it belongs to. So I'm just going to type in the address here, and then I'm going to click on search. Now, the first time that you search for a wallet, it's going to basically ask you to add the wallet. I've already done that here. And so this is my second time searching this wallet. And as soon as I do that here, you're going to see that I can instantly see the total value in ADA of all the assets held within this wallet. And so starting from the very top, I can see how much ADA is being held in the wallet. And that's about 1,200 ADA here. But I can also see that they have a Boss Cat Rocket Club NFT, which has a floor price of 999 ADA. And so this is, again, a really, really awesome feature. Even if you have hundreds of NFTs, this tool is able to generate their value based on the most important floor traits for your NFTs, and it gives you that total value here. On top of that, you can filter based on specific categories or different NFTs. And so for example, let's say that I'm only worried about the Boss Cat Rocket Club NFTs that I hold, or the Lazy Llamas. I can actually select that particular NFT here, and it's only going to show me the NFTs in my wallet that fit within that criteria. And so I'm going to go back and view all of my assets here, but I want to show you guys here if I can find a particular trait NFT. So these are all based on the floor prices, which is great, but I wanted to see if I can show you guys another example. So here's an example of a Cardano native token, which is the RAT token. And so you can see here how much RAT token they currently hold, which is about 3,000 at the price right now, which is currently trading at, which is 0.02 ADA, which comes out to a total price of 61 ADA. I still don't see any examples here of a floor price trait. I probably should have looked up an example here before I did this here, but if you have a certain type of NFT where they have certain valuable traits, this particular feature will actually show you the floor price based on those particular traits. And so that's really it for today's video. I don't want to spend too much time here on the TellMeMyWorth.com website, but it is a very simple tool that's going to allow for you to see the total value of your Cardano wallet. And so that's going to wrap up today's second episode of the Cardano Scoop. I hope that you guys were able to find some of this information to be helpful. In closing, there's a lot of development still going on the Cardano blockchain. We're still seeing a lot of minting going on with NFTs, and we're still seeing a lot of development across the blockchain. So I'm super excited. I hope that you guys are too, and that you guys are continuing to invest inside of Cardano, and not just with money, right? But with education and with your time and just growing the community. So again, I appreciate you guys joining me on the second episode of the Cardano Scoop. And if you found some of this information to be helpful, then please make sure to tap that like button. If you want to stay up to date with the channel, consider subscribing. And if you have any questions about any of the content, that was covered in today's video, then please make sure to leave me a a comment down in the section below. With that said, I will see you guys in the third episode next week. And that's it. Peace out.